What if I told you that the world's biggest food and beverage company once stood on the edge of failure? That Nestlé, the household name behind Kit Kat, Nescafe, and Maggi, almost collapsed under its own weight. Sounds crazy, right? But trust me, this story is not just about a company making a comeback. It's about the power of resilience, reinvention, and a marketing genius that changed everything. So grab your coffee, or should I say Nescafe. Sit tight, and let's dive into one of the greatest business turnarounds of all time. Welcome to Roots to Riches, the channel that uncovers the secrets behind the success of the world's greatest companies. From their humble beginnings to their toughest battles, we reveal how they turned struggles into triumphs. Don't miss out. Subscribe and enable notifications so you're always first to hear these incredible stories. Let's inspire others together by sharing these journeys with those who need a spark of motivation. Thanks for being part of this growing community of dreamers and achievers. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Nestle wasn't just facing a PR nightmare. It was at the center of one of the most infamous corporate scandals in history. The culprit? A ruthless marketing campaign that pushed infant formula as a superior alternative to breast milk in developing countries. The catch? Many mothers lacked access to clean water, making formula use dangerously unsafe. The backlash was swift and unforgiving. Outraged consumers didn't just voice their disapproval, they took action. Activists and consumer advocacy groups around the world organized a massive, coordinated boycott against Nestlé, urging people to stop buying the company's products. What began as a grassroots movement quickly snowballed into a global rebellion, with millions refusing to support a corporation they saw as profiting from vulnerable mothers and infants. The boycott spread across continents, gaining traction in the United States, Europe, and beyond, and became a defining moment in the rise of consumer activism. The backlash was more than just a dent in Nestlé's sales. It shattered the brand's carefully crafted image. Once seen as a trusted household name, Nestlé was now portrayed as the epitome of corporate greed and exploitation. Headlines blasted the company's unethical practices, while public protests and media coverage kept the scandal in the spotlight. For many, Nestlé became a cautionary tale, a symbol of what happens when profits are prioritized over human lives. The consequences were far-reaching. Sales of Nestlé products plummeted, and the company found itself scrambling to repair the damage. Despite public relations efforts and policy changes, the stain on its reputation refused to fade. The baby formula scandal became a defining chapter in corporate history, a lesson in how unchecked ambition and aggressive marketing can lead to global outrage. Even decades later, the shadow of the boycott lingers, a reminder that consumer trust, once broken, is not easily rebuilt. But that wasn't their only blunder. In their relentless pursuit of global dominance, Nestlé went on an acquisition spree, snapping up companies at a dizzying pace. From confectionery brands to bottled water companies, pet food to pharmaceuticals, Nestlé was determined to be everywhere and own everything. But there was one glaring problem. They lacked a clear, cohesive strategy. Instead of thoughtful expansion, they ended up with a bloated empire of mismatched businesses, struggling to integrate their new assets. This rapid expansion led to logistical nightmares, skyrocketing operational costs, and a diluted brand identity. Some acquisitions flopped spectacularly, failing to generate expected profits, while others created internal conflicts, with Nestlé stretching itself too thin across industries it didn't fully understand. Meanwhile, competitors with focused strategies gained an edge, outpacing Nestlé in key markets. Rather than securing its position as the ultimate global powerhouse, Nestlé's reckless expansion exposed cracks in its foundation. What was meant to be a triumph became a cautionary tale of corporate overreach. Proof that even the biggest brands can stumble when greed outpaces strategy. The acquisitions drained resources and left them with a tangled mess of brands that weren't performing. Think of it like buying 10 gym memberships at once and never using any of them, a waste of money and energy. By the early 1990s, Nestlé was in serious trouble. Sales were inconsistent, profits were dwindling, and consumer trust was at an all-time low. Investors were getting nervous. Employees feared layoffs. It was like being on a sinking ship with a teaspoon to scoop out the water. They needed a hero, Enter Peter Brabeck-Letmathe, the man with a plan. A marketing genius with a vision sharper than a Swiss Army knife, pun absolutely intended. Brabeck knew one thing. If Nestlé was going to survive, it needed to reconnect with consumers. So he did something radical. He listened. He invested in market research, real consumer feedback, and emotional branding. First, Nestlé launched a PR overhaul, apologizing and taking responsibility for past mistakes. They didn't just say, "Oops, our bad." They actively worked with healthcare organizations and NGOs to rebuild trust. They also doubled down on transparency, something that had been missing in their earlier years. Then, they reinvented their product line. Nestlé shifted focus to nutrition, health, and wellness. They introduced healthier options, cut sugar and sodium in many products, and repositioned themselves as a brand that actually cared about your well-being. The new slogan? Good food, good life. Simple, effective, and exactly what people needed to hear. And let's talk about their marketing magic. Brabeck and his team took Nestlé into the digital age, investing heavily in emotional advertising. Remember those heartwarming Nescafe commercials? Or the iconic "Have a break, have a Kit Kat" slogan? That wasn't by accident. Nestlé mastered the art of making people feel something. So, what can we learn from Nestlé's comeback? Number one, own your mistakes. Whether you're running a business or just navigating life, accountability is key. Number two, listen to your audience. If people don't trust you, don't argue with them. Understand them. Number three, rebrand with purpose. A flashy new logo or catchy slogan won't erase past mistakes. A true transformation goes deeper. It demands bold action, transparency, and a commitment to real change. Consumers can see through empty promises, and a rebrand without substance is just lipstick on a scandal. If a company wants to rebuild trust, it needs more than a new image. It needs a new mission. If you're feeling like your business or life is on the brink of collapse, remember this. Nestlé went from near failure to a $300 billion empire. If they could turn it around, so can you. Success isn't about never failing. It's about learning, adapting, and coming back stronger. So next time you sip that cup of Nescafe, take a bite of your Kit Kat, or cook up some Maggi noodles, remember, behind every success story is a struggle, a lesson, and a comeback. Stay strong, stay smart, and keep pushing forward. Who knows, maybe one day your story will be the next great comeback tale. If you love stories like this that inspire and motivate, hit that subscribe button. And remember, success isn't about never falling, it's about always getting back up. And hey, don't leave just yet. Check out the videos on the side. You won't want to miss what's next. Let's keep growing together.